Ladies, may I have just a moment of your heart? If you're in your 60s or your 70s, I want to talk to you about something quiet but dangerous. It changes little by little without noise or warning until one day it's too late, and a single step sends you down faster than your body can catch you. It's balance. Not the kind you practice on a mat or fix with posture, but the kind that keeps you standing when you rise in the dark or your foot slips off a curb you never saw. Doctors are seeing balance problems grow every day. The vast majority of older women, nearly all of us, in fact, experience a steady decline in balance as the years pass. And yet, almost no one talks about why. So we adapt instead. We slow down. We reach for counters. We stop trusting ourselves. Please stay with me until the end, because the last mistake I'll share is the one I misunderstood for years, and I didn't grasp the danger until I was helpless on my kitchen floor. I had just finished breakfast, carried my plate to the sink, and took what should have been an ordinary step. But my legs didn't arrive when my mind expected them to. I remember the sound more than the pain. The sharp crack of my hip against the tile, the plate shattering beside me. It was a fractured hip. Not the worst kind, but life-altering. Surgery, rehab, learning how to move again. The doctors told me that it could have been much worse, and I didn't need them to explain what that meant. What surprised me most wasn't the surgery or the rehab. It was how much my recovery depended on something almost no one talks about, and what most advice gets wrong. And almost no one warns you what happens when your body doesn't have the specific nutrition it needs to heal, or how foods that seem healthy can quietly sabotage balance and recovery. With the correct nourishment, my strength returned faster than anyone expected. I walked again. I began trusting my body again. But I still think about how easily that morning could have taken a very different turn. That's why I want to share the 3 food mistakes that erode balance over time, and how fixing them can determine how safely, confidently, and independently you move through the rest of your life. The first mistake doesn't sound dangerous at all: eating too little and eating at the wrong times. But it's the mistake nearly everyone makes, and it quietly undermines balance before anything else does. There was a season of my life when eating lightly felt responsible. A small breakfast, a simple lunch, sometimes just soup or toast for dinner. I wasn't dieting, I just wasn't very hungry anymore. But by late afternoon, my legs felt less dependable. Standing up required a pause. Sometimes I felt slightly unsteady for no clear reason. What I didn't understand then was this: when the body isn't regularly nourished, balance hesitates. Blood sugar dips quietly. Muscles respond a moment slower. Signals between the brain and body arrive just a beat late. That delay matters. My friend Ruth had her moment outside the post office. She was stepping down from the curb, arms full of envelopes, when her foot landed just slightly wrong. She went down, slow, awkward, right there on the sidewalk. Nothing was broken, nothing was sprained, but the embarrassment stayed with her. Later, she told me, quietly, that it wasn't the fall that bothered her. It was the feeling that she didn't trust her body anymore. That moment became her turning point. She started eating more consistently, stopped skipping meals, and added steady nourishment throughout the day. What she didn't realize was that balance doesn't fail randomly. It breaks down when meals are mistimed and the body is flooded with the wrong fuel. She wasn't eating poorly. She was eating late, and she was leaning on sugar when her body was already tired. Toast in the morning with no protein. Crackers or cereal when energy dipped in the afternoon. Something sweet just to get through the day. What sneaks up on you is this. Simple sugars spike blood sugar fast, and when that spike crashes, balance crashes with it. Reaction time slows, muscles hesitate, legs feel unreliable at the exact moment you need them most. The villains weren't obvious junk food. They were the foods everyone calls harmless. White toast, light snacks with hidden sugar, meals high in carbs and low in protein and healthy fats that leave the body running empty. What changed everything was timing and pairing. Eating within an hour of waking. Anchoring carbohydrates with protein and healthy fats. And cutting back on simple sugars that destabilize the nervous system. For example, oatmeal paired with eggs and a spoon of nut butter. Rice or potatoes paired with fish and olive oil. Fruit paired with yogurt and nuts instead of eaten alone. This is exactly why I put my recipe guide together. Every meal is already paired correctly. Protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. So you don't have to guess or piece this together on your own. You'll find it linked down below. Mistake 2. Skipping protein because it feels like too much. For a long time, I believed protein was something younger bodies needed, not mine. It felt heavy, unnecessary, almost indulgent. Eggs felt optional. Meat felt like too much work. And if I had toast, soup, or something light, I told myself that was enough. I didn't feel hungry, so I assumed my body was fine. But slowly, something changed. By midday, my legs felt less responsive. Not painful, just delayed. If I stood up quickly, there was a moment, a pause, where my body didn't quite respond the way I expected it to. I didn't connect it to food at the time. What I didn't understand then, and what no one explains clearly, is that protein isn't about muscle size, it's about muscle reaction. As we age, our muscles don't just weaken. They respond more slowly when they're undernourished. And when you stumble, hesitation is dangerous. My friend Elaine learned this the hard way. She's 76, sharp as ever, lives alone, still drives herself everywhere. One afternoon, she tripped stepping into her garage. Not hard, not fast, but her leg didn't correct in time. She didn't fall all the way, but she grabbed the door frame so hard she bruised her arm badly. Later, she told me something that stuck with me. She said, "I didn't feel weak. I felt slow." That's the danger no one warns you about. Without enough protein, muscles lose their ability to fire quickly. They don't catch you. They don't brace. They hesitate. And protein needs increase as we get older, not decrease. Yet most women I speak to are eating less of it than they did at 40. A piece of toast for breakfast, soup for lunch, a small dinner with very little substance. It looks sensible, it feels light, but it leaves the legs unprotected. Elaine didn't change her life overnight. She made one quiet adjustment. She added protein to every meal, even small amounts. Eggs or yogurt in the morning. Fish, chicken, or beans at lunch. Something with real substance at dinner. Within weeks, she noticed something important. When she stood up, her body responded immediately. When she lost her footing slightly, her legs corrected without thought. That fear she hadn't admitted she was carrying, it softened. Protein didn't make her bulky. It didn't weigh her down. It gave her back reaction time. And at this stage of life, reaction time is safety. This isn't about eating more food. It's about giving your muscles the building blocks they need to protect you when something goes wrong. Because falls don't happen when you're prepared. They happen in ordinary moments. And when they do, your body needs to respond without hesitation. If this sounds familiar, if you've ever felt your body hesitate when you needed it to respond, I put together something to make this easier. I created a simple meal guide that takes the guesswork out of this. Every recipe is built around proper protein, balanced carbohydrates, and healthy fats, timed the way your body actually needs them now. Meals designed to support steadiness, independence, and confidence as we age. You'll find it linked below if you'd like to take a look. Mistake 3. Thinking balance is mechanical when it's actually neurological. This is the mistake I misunderstood for years, and it's the one that nearly cost me far more than I realized. For the longest time, I believed balance lived in the feet, or the legs, or the joints. So I focused there. Shoes, strength, posture. But even after I was walking again, even after rehab, there were moments when something still felt off. Not weak, not painful, disconnected. Like my body knew what to do, but the message arrived late. What surprised me most was learning this. Balance is not just physical. It's neurological. And the nervous system depends heavily on minerals and hydration to send signals on time. When those signals slow, balance doesn't fail dramatically. It hesitates, and hesitation is dangerous. My friend Carol learned this after a scare in her hallway. She hadn't tripped, she hadn't rushed, she simply turned too quickly and felt the room tilt. She grabbed the wall, heart pounding. Later, she said something I'll never forget. It felt like my feet didn't know where the floor was. That wasn't weakness. That was delayed signaling. As we age, the nervous system becomes far more sensitive to low mineral levels, especially magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Magnesium helps nerves relax and fire smoothly. Potassium supports muscle coordination and balance. Sodium helps maintain blood pressure and proper nerve signaling. When these dip, signals misfire, muscles don't coordinate, balance becomes unreliable. Most women don't realize how easily this happens. Magnesium needs for older women are roughly 300 to 320 milligrams a day. Potassium closer to 2,600 to 3,000 milligrams. And sodium, despite what we've been told, cannot be eliminated without consequence, especially as appetite and hydration decrease. You can eat healthy and still be missing all three. Low-salt diets taken too far, not drinking enough because you don't feel thirsty. Avoiding mineral-rich foods because they were once labeled bad. The result isn't fatigue, it's instability. What changed things for Carol wasn't a supplement routine or a strict plan. It was food. Leafy greens, beans, yogurt, nuts, and seeds for magnesium. Potatoes, bananas, beans, and fish for potassium. And enough salt from real foods, soups, broths, eggs, and properly seasoned meals to support circulation and nerve communication. Once she supported her nervous system consistently, the difference was unmistakable. Turns felt smoother. Movement felt connected again. That floating, uncertain sensation disappeared. Balance didn't come from her feet. It came from communication. When the nervous system is nourished, the body knows where it is. And when it knows where it is, it can protect you. Balance doesn't disappear all at once. It fades quietly through missed meals, mistimed sugar, skipped protein, and a nervous system running on empty. Most women don't lose balance because they're careless. They lose it because no one ever explained what actually protects it. But when nourishment is consistent, when meals are timed properly, when the nervous system is supported, the body remembers how to steady itself. If this video resonated with you, leave a number 1 in the comments so I know I'm not alone. And if you'd like guidance you don't have to piece together on your own, I created a simple recipe guide designed for this stage of life. Every meal is balanced, every pairing is intentional, and everything is built to support steadiness, recovery, and confidence. You'll find it linked below. Take your time, move gently, and remember, your body is still listening.